Trojans and a Horse with Jacob.
All right, all right. How's everyone doing tonight? Everyone's doing good? Glad to see you all. Hope you enjoyed my interview a couple slides ago. So this is just a quick little segment, a little game. It's called Two Trojans and a Horse, and it's basically about good and bad internet practices and habits online. In computing, a Trojan horse is a program or application that is secretly downloaded on your computer without your knowledge or consent. Now, this often happens when you click on a suspicious link or visit a sketchy website, and in the background, some program or some sort of application that could harm your data or monitor you or otherwise spy on your identity has been downloaded on your machine. So this game is called Two Trojans and a Horse, and it's kind of it's basically a game where we try to identify which are the two Trojans, which are the good internet practices that you should be doing, and what is the horse, which is the bad, harmful habit or attitude that you should be avoiding. So for this game, I'm going to need one volunteer from the audience, preferably someone who's pretty outspoken and flamboyant and passionate about internet safety, to come on up on stage and accompany me and play through these 6 rounds of this game. It's really not that hard, so don't be scared, but I do need one volunteer for this game. So who wants to come up on stage with me? Please raise your hand. Jason? All right, come on up. Come on, I don't got all day here. Come on, I need you to hurry this up. All right, so you are Jason, correct?
I am.
All right, so are you ready?
No.
You're supposed to say yes. Are you? Come on, you got to say yes. So you are ready?
I am.
All right, let's begin. Round 1. Your objective is to identify the horse or the bad internet practice. So which is it? Using digital protection tools like VPNs, using a simple password, and understanding that internet searches are social, which is the bad one.
Using a simple password.
That is correct, and as we'll see definitely give it up for Jason. But as we'll see in in just a few minutes on our segment on passwords, it's very important to select a complex password with a lot of symbols and characters that's more secure. You should also consider using digital protection tools, especially a VPN, a virtual private network. It's basically a program that encrypts your internet traffic and scrambles your identity so that it's much harder for hackers to hack your account. It also makes you more anonymous. And you also must understand that internet searches are social. You have to be careful what you're searching online and what you click on because people are watching, believe me. All right, round 2. Checking your email on public Wi-Fi, thinking that sending something can't be permanent, and at least skimming the terms and conditions. What do you think?
At least skimming the terms and conditions.
No, you should at least skim the terms and conditions. The horse in this case is checking your email on public Wi-Fi. Basically, it's not a very good idea to check your email on public Wi-Fi or input any sensitive information because there could be some people on that public network who are monitoring people on that network and trying to steal your data. You should at least skim the terms and conditions. I mean, do you skim the terms and conditions, or do you read them at all, or do you just scroll all the way to the bottom like most people and just click accept?
I just don't read them.
Don't read them at all. Well, it's a good idea to at least skim them because there could be like a sentence or a clause in there that gives whatever company you're affiliated with permission to steal your data or monitor you or something you don't want. You should also understand that sending something could be permanent. Of course, it's always most of the time it's possible to delete it. But screenshots exist. People can screenshot what you say online. And there's also different programs and websites on the internet, like the Wayback Machine, where you can archive a website and it's from the past. And even if you delete it, it's still there. So it's very important to understand that attitude. All right, round 3. Disclosing your vacation details on social media, considering using an anonymous burner email, and being cautious about linking social media accounts. What is something you shouldn't do?
Disclosing your vacation details.
That's right. Pretty obvious, obviously, because it's not very smart to disclose too many details about your vacation, especially when you're leaving and how long you'll be on vacation. Because there could be some, thieves or robbers who are looking for that information, looking for the perfect opportunity to find that one house that's going to be empty so that they have all the time in the world to break in and rob your house and cause a lot of damage. So try not to do that. But you should consider using an anonymous burner email. This is a secondary account that you can use when you're signing up for websites, not only to reduce the spam you get in the main inbox, but also to protect yourself against viruses and other harmful programs that could be downloaded on your machine. Of course, you'd also be cautious about linking social media accounts. Sometimes when you sign up for a service, has anyone raise your hand if you're creating an account on a website and ask you, Do you want to link your Google or your Facebook account? Raise your hand if that ever happened to you. This happened to me before. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but you just should be careful because if you link those accounts, there could be something in the contract between you and whatever company that you're establishing an account with that could be pretty sketchy. So try to avoid that. All right, next round. Considering using a password keeper, Googling yourself occasionally, and accepting friend requests from people you don't know. Which one is the horse, Jason?
Accepting friend requests from people that you do not know.
That is correct. There's really no point from accepting friend requests from people you don't know. At best, they're probably going to just send you spam and be annoying. And at worst, they could be trying to hack your account and steal your information. They could be a scammer or a bot. But generally, it's a good practice to not accept friend requests for people you don't know. You should occasionally Google yourself. Because it is pretty interesting to find out if you Google your name, see what comes up. But it's also important because there could be some information on Google and on the internet that you don't want to be out there. So it's important to look yourself up on the internet and also consider using a password keeper like Dashlane or another service that uses one master password that lets you access all the rest of your passwords, because obviously it is pretty hard to remember all the passwords you have. I'm sure that's I sometimes struggle with that. I'm sure a lot of people here struggle with that as well. But Dashlane, I think that's one of them. Dashlane. Of course, there's other ones as well, but it's something to think about. All right, time for the next round. Not oversharing too many details on social media, over-reliance on medical diagnosis websites, keeping a list of all your accounts online, which was something that is bad that you should not do.
Over-reliance on medical diagnosis websites.
Why?
Because you should not rely on things you just look up. You should more find out from a doctor or somebody that you can trust that knows about the medical field.
That's absolutely correct. Don't trust everything you read on the internet. Websites like WebMD are helpful, and they can give you some pretty useful information, but they're not as credible as a professional healthcare official like your doctor. So over-relying on medical diagnosis websites can be harmful if you have like a sore throat and a runny nose, if you put in those symptoms and it says you have cancer, obviously, probably not. But so it's a good idea not to rely too much on those. But what is good is keeping a list of your online accounts, especially the ones that you don't use anymore. Because if you don't use them anymore, they could be involved in data breaches, like me and Chris Wooters discussed in the interview a few minutes ago. So it's a good idea to keep a general list of all your accounts, and consider deleting the ones that you will never use again. It's also important not to share too many details on social media, especially things of private and personal nature. You don't want to share them because, like I said, they can be permanent, and you don't want other people getting that information. So let's move on to the next round. All right. Not checking your privacy settings, considering using two-factor authentication, and etiquette, being kind, helpful, and understanding. Which is the horse?
Not checking your privacy settings.
That's correct. And we will have another segment in a little bit about that. But it is important to check your privacy settings to make sure that whatever social media site you're using isn't secretly having these permissions that you don't want them to have. What is important is to consider using two-factor authentication. Some of you probably already know this. It's basically where when you're trying to log in, you get a code on your phone or another device, and it just adds that extra layer of protection. And it's also important to practice etiquette. It's a play on words of etiquette and the internet. Just generally be a decent person. Be kind, helpful, and understanding. That's very important. I believe that is the last round. That was 2 Trojans and a horse. Thank you so much, Jason.